Hi guys, welcome to Meal Prep with Spaghetti Squash. So, there's a lot of people that I know don't eat spaghetti squash and it may be kind of new to you. So I thought I would show you. The hardest thing with the spaghetti squash is cutting it. Once it's cut, it's no big deal. But cutting that baby, man, is it a chore sometimes. So this is what I do. I get this knife. This is the only thing I do with this knife. I don't like to chop with it. It's not my favorite knife, but it's nice and long. You want a long knife to cut a spaghetti squash. I just kind of stick it in here and I start to work it a little bit and then pull it back out, and then I'll stick it down a little bit more. And I don't know if you can see, but they're not connected. So once I get 2 slots in there, then I'll go all the way through. So I stick it back in where I started and then just kind of pull it down. And this is why I like the long knife, because it just kind of works its way all the way around. The 2 cuts seems to make a difference for me than the other ones. And then just flip it over and do the same thing in the opposite direction. It doesn't need to be perfect by any means. And then once you get it most of the way through, the knife kind of gets stuck. So what I'll do is I'll just like give it a pound on my board, and that loosens it. And then you can just use your hands and pull it apart. The next thing you need to do is scoop out the seeds. You don't want to cook it with the seeds in it. They don't taste good, and they're a lot harder to get out after the fact. So you just get a nice big spoon and they scoop out really easy. My kids love spaghetti squash. I use it a lot in lieu of noodles. I know instead of doing pasta, I'll bake my spaghetti squash. I definitely like the flavor better baked, and I will put it, I'll put, whatever pasta they're having, I'll put over my spaghetti squash, and it's delicious. If you do it a little al dente, it'll have a nice crunch in it. And you cook it like a potato, like a baked or a sweet potato, where once it's soft to punch the skin with a knife or a fork, it's done. And then once it's done, you're going to scoop it out the same way. Just like this, it'll be, once you cook it, it will be nice and good to go. It's like a pumpkin a little bit. So once you cook it, it'll all be soft, and you'll just use that same spoon and just pull it out, and away you go. It's really good with just some salt and oil, or some people like to put melted cheese on it, tomato sauce, whatever. But there you go, how to prep your spaghetti squash.